So today I'm going to do a take 3 version of the boiled fruit cake. This one will have far more fruit in it, and I've increased the volumes of the ingredients a bit, so hopefully we'll end up with a taller cake in our 8-inch 20cm tin. So here goes. So I've put 430 grams of mixed fruit, so that's a lot more than in our original one. So let's put that straight into the pan because my bowls aren't big enough. So that's 430 of that into there, and then we're going to add in 140 grams of caster sugar, 140 grams of margarine, and about 190 millilitres of water. So we're now just going to put that on gently to bring it to the boil. As I say, gently is the word, and then we'll bring that to the boil gently. Did I use that word too often, gently? And then that'll allow the fruit to absorb the water, and it'll soften all the margarine down. And then once that's reached boiling point, we'll turn it down completely off, and then we'll put it in a bowl to cool for probably about 40 minutes, something like that. And then we'll add the sifted self-raising flour, of which there will be about 290 grams, and the one large egg, which will just be gently whisked with my fork. So watch this space, I'll come back to you. As the contents of your pan warm up, just give it a bit of a stir, just to make sure all the fruit and the margarine are dispersed within the pan. Then hopefully the dried fruit will take in some of that moisture and plump up the fruit. Hurrah. Really see that, but that's now come on to a nice rolling boil, and the fruit is all plumped up inside, and the dishwasher's now kicked in as well, so it's all kicking off. So we're just going to let that, we're going to transfer that now to a bowl and let it cool for probably about 40 minutes. So go away and do some whatever. So the fruit and sugar and the margarine and the water's all been boiled up gently, and it's now been transferred to the bowl. We'll let that cool for about 40 minutes, and just gently whisking the egg up just slightly. And then once the fruit has cooled down, then we'll add in the flour and the egg, and we'll be then ready to put it into the oven. The oven, we'll probably put the oven on at 170 for the first 10 minutes, and then put it down to 150 for the next 50 minutes, and see whether it's cooked, testing it with the skewer, see whether the skewer comes out clean. If it doesn't, we'll probably put it on for another 10 minutes or so and see how we go. So the oven's now just heating up. This has been cooling for about 40 minutes, but just leave it another few minutes whilst the oven finishes heating up, and then we can add in the sifted flour and the little whisked egg white. I've put the baking parchment round the 8-inch 20cm tin. I've cheated a bit in the bottom because I put a 20cm ready cut circle of parchment in there, but if you want me to show you how to cut a circle of parchment, quite happy to do so in another video. Just let me know in the comment section below. So we'll just give that another few more minutes to cool, and then, as I say, we'll add in the flour and the egg, and we'll just mix it all together to make a hopefully fairly stiff mixture. Alright, now I'm just going to add in the sifted self-raising flour, hopefully, and the egg, and hopefully that'll all turn into a stiff sort of mixture. Still a little bit of warmth in this, but we'll try and get it into the oven quickly before the heat, residual heat in the moisture of the liquid potentially kills the self-raising flour action, but hopefully not. It's looking quite a good mix. The fruit now is nice and plump. Nicely mixed in. Here we are. All looks pretty well mixed, I think. I'll pop it in the tin and then we'll pop it in the oven, 170 for 10 minutes, and then we'll drop that down to 150 for the remaining 50 minutes. Test it with a skewer, see that the skewer comes out clean. If it does, we're cooked. If not, we'll probably put it in for another 10 or 15 minutes, say. Plenty of mixture there, so that should be a nice cake. Try and keep the sides of your parchment upright whilst you fill it up. Adjust it slightly if you need to. Just push the mixture to the sides, and then hopefully it'll hold the parchment in position. And there we are. Look at that. Whoa. I think if you want, you can always sprinkle a bit of demerara sugar if you've got some on the top of the cake, but I don't think I've actually got any. There we are. So just roughly spread that about so it's fairly even in the base of the tin. That looks like a lot better quantity of mixture now, so hopefully we should end up with a decent sized cake. There we are, just out of the oven. That looks like a proper cake. It's nearly filled the tin. Press the top, comes back up, that's a good sign. Just going to use the what's it called? Skewer, that's the word. Skewer, just to test it. So just going to pop that in the middle of the cake, push it through and see that it comes out clean. If it does, it's pretty well there. I think it's not too bad, but I think I'm just going to leave it for another, pop it in back in for another 10 minutes. So that now looks like a proper cake. It's had another 10 minutes in the oven, so it's basically an hour and 10 minutes it's had in total. And that there it is, the thingy-bob looks quite clean, so that's it. So give that 10 minutes to cool off a bit, then we'll put it onto a cooling rack to finish cooling. And the idea is that it'll taste better tomorrow, but whether it'll last that long is another matter. This was a bit fresh to cut, but anyway, it just shows how much more fruit there is in this bigger one than there are on the other two that I was showing you earlier.